What is up, guys? Play Rough Slurpuff here, bringing another build for Raticate, or Raticate this time. So basically, these builds are not competitive builds. You could use them as competitive builds, but they're not. They're used for a playthrough I made up myself called the Pokemon Master Challenge. If you haven't checked it out, the link is in the description below. These are 4 unique sets that I came up with, 2 for Alolan Rattata, and then 2 for regular Rattata. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into this. Alright, so for regular Raticate, you're going to have the ability Runaway, Guts, and Hustle. If you don't know what Guts does, it's anytime you're burned, poisoned, or paralyzed, your attack stat gets a 50% increase in power. Hustle does the same thing, 50% increase in power, but it lowers the accuracy of physical type moves by 20%. So if you had a 100% accurate move, it would lower down to 80%. Now you see that Raticate, just regular Raticate, has an HP of 55, attack of 81, and a speed of 97. So we're going to go ahead and base this around a physical attacker, really utilizing that Guts and Hustle ability. Alright, so for Alolan Raticate, we have 2 new abilities on it. We have Gluttony, which means that when you have 50% health left or lower, you go ahead and eat your berries. So normally you would eat a berry at I believe 30%. Something around there. I know it was lower than 50%, so it just makes it, if you were given it a citrus berry and you drop below 50% health, you'd go ahead and eat that berry. Now, Thick Fat is just going to give you a resistance to fire and ice. And then you have an attack of 71, a special attack of 40, and a speed of 77, but a higher special defense than the normal Raticate and a lower speed. So we're going to go ahead and utilize that Hustle and Gluttony ability. Alright, so looking at regular Raticate's type advantages, you see he's immune to ghosts and then he's weak to fighting, so that's pretty simple. Just don't send him in on fighting types, and if you're predicting a ghost type move, we'll switch in Raticate and you'll be immune to it. Alolan Raticate is different on another hand. Even a little slap to the face would kill an Alolan Raticate with that 4 times weakness to fighting, so definitely be careful of that. You also pick up a bug weakness because of the dark status, so be careful of that. But then you resist dark, you're immune to psychic and ghost, so that's pretty cool. So you have 2 weaknesses, one of them being a 4 times weaknesses, and then you have 3 resistances, or I should say 1 resistance, and then 2 immunity. So I feel that's a good trade-off. So the first set that I have is for a normal Rattata, and it's a Jolly set, and it is actually my favorite set. I gave it the item Expert Belt to boost the power of super effective moves by 20%. So basically you see that Wild Charge is on there. Wild Charge is an electric type move. It'd be super effective against water types, so it'd get a 20% boost. I have Me First as the 1 status move on this Pokemon. What Me First does is it allows you to go first and doubles the power if you go first. So if you're going against a Pokemon that is using Water Gun and you do Me First, and with the Jolly and the high speed that Raticate gets, you outspeed, you get to do Water Gun with double the power. Then Wild Charge is a 80 base power move, 100% accurate, 1/4 recoil damage, but it's an electric type move. U-Turn is a 70 base bug power move, 100% accurate, and when you hit, it's gonna switch you out, so you can actually switch your Pokemon, so it's great for switching out. So if you're going against something you know you're not gonna be able to fight off, like it's a fighting type, you can always just U-turn and switch into something to take it out. And then you have Double Edge, which is a 100 base power move, 100% accurate, but it does recoil 1/3 damage, and it actually may be 140 or 120 base power. I can't remember, but I do know that with Hustle, it's going to get a 50% increase of power, just like Wild Charge, U-turn, and Double Edge will. And I've already explained what Hustle does. So Hustle will give you that boost in power, and then that Double Edge is going to recoil, I believe, 1/3, but it's going to hit really, really hard with Hustle and Stab, so it's going to be a 100% increase in power. Now for Alolan Rattata, I have an Impish nature on it, boosting the power if it's at defenses, minusing its special attack, which we're not even going to utilize at all. I'm going to give it a Citrus Berry, and then I'm going to use the Gluttony ability. Citrus Berry is basically going to heal you 25% of your health. So when you drop below 50% with Gluttony, you're going to eat that Citrus Berry and get back to health. That's why I'm going Impish, to really add in that defense, which you have pretty decent defense and a really good special defense stat on Alolan Raticate. Then you have Crunch, which is an 80 base power dark type move, so it's stab boosted. It's going to hit hard. I believe it may have a 10% chance to flinch. I'm not exactly sure. Super Fang is another unique move. Super Fang is actually going to do 50% damage every time. So if you're going against your level 1 Pokemon and you're going against a level 15 Pokemon and you use Super Fang, you're going to knock it down to half health and then you can switch into something else. So, I mean, you're not going to have a level 1 Rattata, but, you know, I'm just saying, like, you could be under leveled and you could use Super Fang and then go ahead and switch out. And just to add some extra defense, or I guess protectiveness to this set, I added double team because I feel like double team is underutilized, and you can double team to up your evasiveness. So if they don't hit, then that's another free turn that you can either use Super Fang or Crunch on. And then you have Counter. And Counter, basically what that does is if you get hit by a physical attack move, you do 60 base damage times 2, so 120 base power move if you get hit with a physical attack. And since we're plus defense, I feel like this Rattata can take a hit, especially with that Citrus Gluttony ability. Alright, so the next Rattata I have is a Flame Orb Guts ability set. So basically Flame Orb is going to burn you, but that burn is only going to do 1/12 the damage, and with the Guts ability, you're going to get double the power on your physical type moves. Now, what's really cool to pair Guts and Facade with is since you're burned, Facade is 70 base power, but since you're burned, it does 140 base power. Plus it's a normal type move, so it gets freaking boosted by Stab, and then it gets boosted by Gut. So Facade is doing so much damage, and this is actually one of my favorite sets right here. Then you have Revenge, which is a fighting type move. Basically it's 60 base power, but if you get damaged by the target, it gets double the power, so 120, which sometimes you're going to get damaged, sometimes you're not. Focus Energy is just going to up your critical ratio by 2, so you could Focus Energy and then go Facade, or you could go Focus Energy and Quick Attack, which Quick Attack is going to be boosted by Guts, it's going to be boosted by Stab, and it's 40 base power, so times that by 2, it's going to be 80 base power Quick Attack, I believe, because of Guts and Stab, and it's 100% accurate. So this is a really, really cool set to run. I like this Rattata set. Set that I have is an Alolan Rattata set with the item Wide Lens and the ability Hustle. Remember when I told you Hustle is going to make your power physical type moves go up 50%, but it's going to lower the accuracy down to 20%, you know, lower it by 20%, because if it was a 100% accurate move, it's going to go down to 80. So I'm giving it Wide Lens to boost that 80 10% more, so it's about 90%. Now I have Sucker Punch, which is a 70 base power move. It's now 90% accurate, and it hits first. Then Hyper Fang is 80 base power. It's going to be stab boosted because it is a normal type as well. It's only 80% accurate, even with the Wide Lens, and it has a 10% chance to flinch, so that's pretty cool. Then you have Taunt, which doesn't allow the target Pokemon that you use it against to use any status type move. So we're talking like Sleep Power, Powder, Stun Power, Rain Dance, Sunny Day. So that might come in handy when you're like going against the Lurantis trial. If you can get off a taunt, they're not going to be able to use Sunny Day on you, which is mainly what Lurantis wants to do. And then the last move I have is Crunch, which is 80 base power Dark type move, and 90% accurate this time. And I was wrong about it having a 10% chance to flinch. That was Hyper Fang. Crunch actually has a 20% chance to lower the user's defense stats, so that's pretty cool as well. Alright guys, those are the 4 sets that I have for a Raticate and an Alolan Raticate. If you have any better in mind, leave them in the comment section below, subscribe and like this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.